You may not think it, but you will probably feel like your hearing is better. Let's start with that if you don't mind. I went to an art school when I was young, but I didn't stay long, maybe a year and a half, but I guess it taught me some basics about image composition. And I wanted to work in animation studios, so I guess I already had a strong interest for cinematic narration. But making videos is something I've never studied in school, so I learned by watching tutorials on YouTube and practicing. I've never had a team, and I don't think I will ever have one. The main reason is that I enjoy almost all the steps of making a video, and I'm not ready to share or delegate any of these at the moment. Another reason is that I'm not a social person and I don't have a lot of patience, including with myself, so working with an assistant or anyone else wouldn't be very comfortable for me, nor for this person. Before ASMR started to be a thing, and even before YouTube existed, if you were and still are receptive to ASMR, you probably felt tingles while watching some movie scenes. And this is what I wanted to do, creating ASMR scenes but with a context, a storyline, world building, and this is what drove me to make ASMR videos. Each character, when they have a bit of personality at least, may represent a different aspect of my own personality, which I intensify for the sake of the character. I can be bossy with people I know well, and yet I'm very shy, so I think I would be some kind of blend between the 17th century cook and the 18th century servant, although my favorite character is Blanche Higgins from the detective roleplay. And the least is probably the French teacher, as being a teacher requires patience, and I don't have any. Being able to make something you really enjoy while learning is priceless to me. Honestly, I only find videos stimulating if I learn something new. I need this to feel motivated, and it could be anything from a craft or skill to general knowledge, often about history or science. I have a few favorite costume makers. Again, I made an entire video about this a few years ago. If you want to watch it, it's still relevant. Some costumes are made from second-hand pieces that I mix and match. For example, the sci-fi costume, or the bookseller costume, or the detective. But when it comes to historical costumes, which is something I've always been passionate about, I would turn to a specialized seamstress or shop, especially if I design the costume myself, which has happened a couple of times. In general, the most expensive part of a roleplay is the costume. Some cost me zero or nearly zero, such as some of the Cozy Basics videos, and up to 2,000 euros for some roleplays, which is usually the amount of money I try not to exceed, and this can be challenging at some points, but very stimulating because it would boost my creativity. I film most of my videos in my studio that I've been using for almost 4 years now, and you can find a video where I show you the space. However, the outdoor scenes are quite obviously filmed in natural landscapes, and 2 videos were actually filmed here in this room. This is my mother's living room. I'm not in my house. And these were The Lady of the Manor, the very first one, and the cooking roleplay. but all the others, starting from the end of 2021, were filmed in my studio, in which I build a different set every time, and my sets usually fit in about 8 square meters. Building a set can take from 2 hours for a tutorial set, for example, up to several days, such as for the sci-fi videos, which involved a lot of DIY, mounting and painting. The mission, the second sci-fi video, that required a lot of thinking for the set conception. And For the King was also a challenging video because filming the intro in the forest with this super heavy armor while there was a hunt nearby was very stressful. The editing usually requires between 2 and 7 days, depending on the video and if there are effects to be added, like those you see in the magical shops. Editing includes sorting and putting all my takes in order, of course, which requires time when there are more than 200 takes, but also color grading and sound mixing, especially if I have to entirely dub some parts of the video, which happens quite often. And I usually try to focus on sounds that are meant as triggers, such as fabric sounds, rummaging, and so on. Some sounds are recorded separately and added to the video. I have no specific knowledge or skills when it comes to special effects, so I usually try to choose tricks that are very simple. For example, in the one-shot, I used a hairdryer to shuffle the pages of the book and the tape measure on the counter. When it comes to things falling, I would generally ask my husband to throw them off camera. That is another example of help I would ask from him. And I sometimes use a few visual effects directly in my software, such as light, shadow, or smoke effects. Then uploading the video and creating subtitles, English subtitles, so volunteers can translate them in any other languages. And finally, taking my set down and cleaning my studio, which can be pretty time consuming. I usually leave it in a total mess, so I need a full day for that. And then I'm ready to start again.